long did it take for your business to be profitable?
Well, it depends what you mean by profitable.
By gaining more money than you're investing.
Yeah, if it's just straightforward like that, it's still not.
Still not.
Yeah, still not. But I just started it in October, really. Yeah. So it's just new. There was a little bit of in the bio there, I have to correct something. I mean, I was involved with billions of dollars of construction. I wasn't necessarily leading it, and I was also inside of a container of the corporate world. Right? So just like you guys, I just went through my schooling when I did what I thought was great, and I did the courses, and I got the right grades in order to move on to architecture school, and I did well there, and I enjoyed designing cool buildings, and I kind of manifested that life, designing really cool big buildings, and that was through purposeful intention, right? Didn't really realize what I was doing at the time, but that was through purposeful intention. Money was flowing in, money was coming in a lot. But then I realized at about the age of 40 that, hey, something is wrong here. And it was actually when I don't know if you guys know Sparkling Hills Resort in Vernon, but it's a spectacular building, and there was a series of supercars lined up in there. In front of it, Lamborghinis and Ferraris and Porsches and this sort of thing. And I just looked at that in front of my building. It's just like one of those moments where you go, okay, this is sort of like a pinnacle of what I was sort of trying to get at when I was at design schools. What this spectacular building with the supercar in front of it, and I just felt super empty because I knew that I was not moving things forward for either myself or for others. And so at that point, I started re-looking at myself. I was at age 40. This is why I jumped at the opportunity to talk to you guys, because if I had known then what I know now, it's the same old story, then maybe I would have done things differently.
What could you have told yourself if you were younger? What would you tell yourself, your younger self?
Yeah. Okay.
Good job.
Face death.
Oh.
Yeah. Face death. Face fear. I know for sure when I was your guys' age, I did not know any of that, and I didn't understand what it meant to be in a state of fear, and work through that in a way that we are all driven by ego, right? We're all driven by what people think of us, what we think of ourselves, how we build ourselves up in this sort of way. But really, when you look at it, you can let go of all that, and then truth comes through. It took a while for me to figure that out.
Next.
So basically, live with authenticity. Authenticity and integrity, basically those two things are like beyond money, beyond that sort of thing. Then once you start living that world, you're basically sucking the power of the earth through you, and you're projecting it through with love, then that's when real magic starts to happen.
How do you balance your life navigating it to benefit your mental health?
Yeah, that's a super great question. And
Can you repeat the question?
Right. How do I balance my life in order to deal with mental health issues and stress and that sort of thing? Thank you. That is a perfect question, because it was actually at that point where when I was working on the Richmond speed skating oval in Vancouver, I was doing literally 80-hour days, which when you do the math, or 80-hour weeks rather, when you do the mathematics on that, there's 16 hours a day, and if you factor in about 6 hours of sleep and an hour or so of eating on either side of waking up, then that's like your entire life. I started to spiral, seriously, not only my health, my family started to suffer. It was a spectacular thing that came out of it, but I was not in a balanced place. Physical activity, I personally, you can find whatever it is that you do. I found yoga, actually, and that's actually how I met Christopher. Initially through yoga practice, and that yoga practice is really great because it also not only works your body physically, but it also helps bring like objectivity and regularity to your day, so you get to see yourself. Seeing yourself is the way that you can achieve this balance in your life. Like, do something every day where you are by yourselves and you don't have screens, you don't have people talking at you, where you can actually be comfortable in silence with yourself, whether it's meditation or whether it's just simply sitting and not doing anything, and just letting things come to you. and letting things come, and don't react, and don't feel fear, and don't, oh my God, don't do any of that, just be. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And that's a great question, because at that point I was not doing that. And yeah, I mean, it was great. On one hand, lots of money, lots of stress, but I would be dead. Now I'm way more healthy. I have like a firm that is just in its infancy, but is doing things that are meaningful to me in the world. And, you know, only doing natural architecture, you know, and natural building and that sort of thing. And so, yeah, this whole climate change thing is serious. What Martin was saying is serious. The carbon thing is serious. You guys all know that. You get that every single day. But when you're out there in the building world, yeah, it's something you do have to you have to show by example. But yeah, it's the groundedness that allows one to do that. Yeah.
What is an earth shift and what's its benefit?
Haha. An earth shift. Yeah, I invite you guys to actually Google what it is. It's actually it's a natural home. And it's been around for, it was a type of architecture. It came out of the 70s, in the oil crisis in the 70s, where this a guy in the States, and he had basically he was a garbage warrior, and he was like, oh, this is crazy what we're doing. We're throwing away all these tires, look at all these windows and everything. Oh, this is like, what can we do? And he used passive solar technology. In other words, face the building to the south, put all the windows in the south and the north where it's cold, you just berm it up, bury it under the ground, and then, you know, using natural like logs and glass that's rescued from you know, just going to be thrown out because of the leaky condos, and, you know, they change out all those glass units, and so, but basically making this house out of recycled materials, earth and natural materials. You basically, for about $25,000 or something, you have this thing that can live off the grid. And then since then he started that process, but then there's been people who've been doing it for 20 years, and so the Earthship as a thing is actually a thing that you can do and build for very little money. Basically, it's like a mud hut, but it's like a super advanced technological thing now, because I have one in my office. So trying to get basically a mud hut through the building department, and I don't know if you guys know, like, this is what the building department's normally trying to do. It's not an easy idea. It's like you have to work it around the building code, and so it's really tricky to get it. So what it is, it's basically a cave made out of natural materials that has to function off the grid. So it has like solar collectors, it's got like a system of water, there's roof collection, water into cisterns on the north side, it comes in, and it's all a big system. It's an ecological system. When you're in it, you feel like you're in nature. You don't feel like you're inside.
Question right there, Mike.
Yeah, so I was just out of the last thing you're saying. How do you, in what ways are you able to like, cause like obviously you have to make money if you want to like eat
Yeah.
or whatever, but how are you able to like balance that with doing like projects and stuff that makes you feel good?
Yeah, another great question. Yeah, there are times where I do have to just like hold my nose and do some work in order to earn money, in order to put the money on the table, in order to do something else. So, but it's always a question of where your intention lies. And it's a concept of drishti in yoga, where you are like doing the actual pose itself. It's just the intention. You might not be forcing yourself, you might not be punching, it's might not be an aggressive act, but it's just an intention in that direction, and then you just let gravity and magnetism sort of pull you there. And so sometimes you get knocked off track, or something happens. Oh, I got like, you know, make $50,000 this month, so that's not going to come out of an Earthship. I'm gonna like have to take on a few normal houses or whatever, just in order to pave the way, so that I can have space in my life to do the things that really mean something to me. And it's like that's what it's been like right now. Yeah.
What aspects of your life changed as you like changed your career path that you like didn't expect in the first place?
Interesting question. Well,
Can you repeat the question?
yeah, what aspects of my life changed once my career changed? And what unexpected? Unexpected. I'm gonna say, that's a very good question. I'm gonna say the impact, this is definitely it. The impact in my daily life from a meditation practice was way more than I thought that it would ever be when I first started it. I did it initially as a stress reduction technique, and just kind of like a just like a centering, because I would feel way better after having, but then the magic that happens as a result of meditative practice is the answer to that question.